Good evening, Orange County. It is so great to be here with you tonight as we enter into the final stretch of this campaign. I'm so grateful to all of you for showing up tonight and for your support throughout this election cycle and my entire first term in Congress. 3 years ago, we embarked on what some would call a fool's errand. We launched a campaign for Congress against an incumbent of nearly 30 years. In 15 elections, he had not been beaten a single time. Our old representative had held a seat in Congress since before I lived in this district, and probably since before a lot of our kids were born. We decided it was time for some new blood. But it wasn't just his age that was the issue. It was his way of thinking. Our old representative didn't have any new ideas. He didn't work with other members of Congress. And most importantly, he did not deliver results for the people of Orange County. But we changed that. In just my first term in Congress, I have sponsored 31 bills that have passed the House, 3 of which have been signed into law by the president. That's the same number of laws that Dana Rohrabacher passed in his 30 years in Congress. How might I, a Democratic representative from California, get bills signed into law by a Republican president, you might ask? It's really simple, folks. I work with other people. I work with Democrats. I work with Republicans. Because we know that in order to accomplish things for our country, we have to compromise and we have to come together as one. It's why I've been the most productive freshman member of Congress this term. I've co-sponsored nearly 600 bills, the majority of which have been bipartisan legislation to address common sense, everyday issues that all of us face. When the coronavirus pandemic hit our country, and especially hit Orange County, I was on the front lines of Congress during relief negotiations. I secured over $500 million for the residents and small businesses of Orange County, and I've secured over $1 billion in grants for Orange County small businesses in total. Now, unfortunately, we have to compare that with my opponent's record. My opponent has had quite a different response to this crisis. On the Orange County Board of Supervisors, Michelle Steele followed in the footsteps of Donald Trump and downplayed the COVID-19 pandemic, even as hospitalizations in Orange County were increasing. She put our health and safety at risk in favor of her own political agenda. She's lied about COVID-19, she's lied about my campaign, she's lied about my policies, and she's refused to debate me because she knows that she wouldn't stand a chance. I want to keep working for the residents of Orange County. I want to go back to Congress to work with a President Biden and a Vice President Harris when we elect them this November. I want to be able to accomplish even more for the hardworking families of this district. There is so much work still to be done, from continuing to support our residents during the rest of this pandemic, to expanding healthcare availability to more Americans during and after this crisis. We need to address climate change to save our beaches and coastlines, and to curtail the wildfires that we see here in California every year. If you re-elect me to Congress, I will be able to keep working with members of Congress from every corner of this country to pass the legislation that helps our constituents the most. If you elect Michelle Steele to Congress, we'll be stuck with 2 more years of old ways of thinking and an inability to compromise or accomplish anything for all the hardworking people here. As your representative for the past 2 years, I have pledged to put country over party because we know it's what we need for the good of our people. If you re-elect me, I pledge to continue doing the same. Thank you again for being here tonight, everyone, and make sure you vote on or before November 3rd. Good night.